So today I'll be talking about what book app I use and why, and also some of the ones I've tried in the past year and in the past as well. And then I think I might add on at the end. I was going to make it a little separate video, but just some recommendations data-wise. It'll make sense when I get there. So, I was just re-downloading Fable. So the ones I'll talk about today are Goodreads, Fable, Pagebound, a little bit about Storygraph, just because I did look at using that. Didn't end up quite clicking with me. And then, I just was on the App Store because I was re-downloading Fable. And so there's other ones. There's Goodreads. I'll talk about them on the website than the app. I've never actually used the app. I will say looks like the website, which is kind of like my issues with it. Well, my issues aren't that it's bad, it's just old. They haven't changed the colours the whole time I've been using it, and I think they started using Goodreads in 2012, maybe even before that. Probably before that. Margins. I've never looked at margins. That's cute. But it does seem more like a tracking, like reading log. Which I'll get into why those kind of don't like the focusy types, like this says like a stay focused, reading goals and reading time. Why that doesn't really click with me. The Storygraph and Bookly, Bookshelf, Bookmori. Yeah, track your reading. So last year, kind of like got back into reading. And I feel like I just wanted to try to find like a reading app or like a book app, a book tracking app. I was trying not to say tracking, but it is a book tracking app that would, they're slightly more updated than Goodreads. I don't hate Goodreads. I actually like it. I still use the website. If I'm going to Google a book, I will click on Goodreads first. I think it's just a really good, almost encyclopedia at this point, in terms of has almost all books. That's what it feels like. So I used Goodreads a lot in high school, but I logged into my Goodreads account, and it was all of my high school books. I should look at the camera. Hey, it was all of my high school books. And I had apparently added like heaps of books. I added such a big TBR. Going through, I just couldn't be bothered going through it. There were books I'd read, books I might still want to read, books I would never read now. Not in a bad way, well, kind of in a bad way, but just like different time. So I just couldn't really be bothered going through it. It just wasn't. It wasn't worth the effort. But because of that, I kind of felt like I had to start again. Because even if I got like the Goodreads app now, I'd have to find my login, sign in, and then it was like all of my recommendations were just so like impacted by what I used to read. And then I think also I wanted like something slightly more modern. Like Goodreads is good, but they haven't changed the colours the whole time I've been using it. Like the UI is the same. Even looking at the app, like you can see it's been slightly modernised, but not like they still wanted to keep their branding, which I think is fair. Having a strong branding is good. It's just like the website feels like the same. And so, yeah, I think I wanted an app that had some colour to it, had some like different features than Goodreads does. Because yeah, Goodreads in my mind is more like a dictionary or like an encyclopedia. Like it's got a catalogue in a way. Like it's logging all the books, but you can't. And you can log what you have done, but it's not displayed nicely. It's just like in a big long list. And so yeah, that's kind of what I was looking for. I think there was also some point in the last couple of years where a couple of booktubers or book talk people have been like sponsored by the different, like the slightly newer apps like Fable and Storygraph. And so that's kind of why I tried Fable. So first one I tried was Fable. I think what appealed to me about it was the book club part. So you could go in, that's probably downloaded. You can open it, like you can join a book club and it can, like, then you can read along with different people, or like for someone who like wants to read with people but doesn't necessarily have people in their life that will like read the same books, then like that's, I feel like, is a good way. Like even like some of the like influencers and stuff that you follow, like you can read along with them and you can like make comments throughout the book and stuff like that. So that seemed really fun. Didn't quite work out for me just because I am very much a mood reader, and so I kind of realised as soon as I joined a book club and they chose the next book, I was like, oh, but I'm not that interested in that book. And so then I went, oh, okay, wait, you kind of have to be interested in the books, like open to just reading anything. And at that point I wasn't really. I probably would be now, so I'd be a better user. But at that time I was just really like, to get back into reading I had to really choose books that I would want to read. And so when I realised that I would be forcing myself to read books I wasn't necessarily interested in, that kind of took away the kind of fun / new part of the app. But yeah, I found Fable really easy to use. It was really easy to like add the books you like the TBR, the read, the and like you could customize it. Like I'd had one, I wanted to delineate the ones I was listening to rather than reading, and so it's like easy to add that and stuff like that. But then the other big part of Fable was also the like logging your reading and like tracking and having goals and stuff like that, which I think are fun. But I just don't really like, yeah, reading stats. Like I just don't really want to have that. I feel like for me, whenever I have like reading goals or like you have to log your reading, it's almost like pressure to read. And again, at that point in time, I didn't want that. But also just like when I'm reading, I will like log when I start it, probably log when I finish it, but I kind of want that to be automatically done when I, in like, if this makes sense, when I first click I'm reading this, so then when I click I'm finished it, I want that to be like the log of like, okay, you've read like the books here. And I think in Fable it was like you'd get a notification like, did you read today and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, like I just don't want to do that. Even though the stats look pretty. I think, yeah, for me it just, yeah, yeah, like it just didn't appeal to me in the same way, if that makes sense. I think also, yeah, just I was trying, another big thing that I wanted a reading app for was to also get more recommendations. So like different books and stuff you wouldn't normally look at. And that like I didn't really find that in Fable unless I joined like a bunch of different clubs. I was kind of struggling to find different books. So that part of it also just wasn't, like, it was just something that it was missing for me. And so I feel like I wasn't really using it. Like I wasn't really using the app the way it was intended. I was just using it to log the books I read, and have like the covers, but it wasn't like displayed nicely. I don't know. It just wasn't giving me what I wanted. So then at this point, I did kind of contemplate going back to Goodreads, just because I knew that, like, I knew how to find recommendations and read on Goodreads, and like they had the lists and stuff that they make where you can like scroll through them. But then I started doing that and I realized, that my old account was just impacting all of my recommendations. And so I was like, okay, I do need to like get a different app. So yeah, I also tried. I didn't really try to use Storygraph, because again, I just never really got into it. Sorry, I have notes here. Yeah, I'll just read this. I think the basic color scheme looks really clean, but it reminded me a little bit of corporate work, which is someone who was in data visualization. It just wasn't fun. Like, I didn't want to like track my books on something that felt like I would present to my corporate job like that. I don't know. I wanted something fun, and it's good because it's basic and like it's not in your face or anything like that. But yeah, it's just like basic data colors that seem like the base options on Microsoft. That's a bit mean, but yeah. I think also it didn't really have like the community part that I was looking for. Like Fable appealed to me because of like the book clubs, and you could join different communities, and Storygraph was more about the tracking. So yeah. And that's all of that, in conclusion, is kind of what led me to Pagebound. I still don't know how I found it. I think it was a random TikTok comment. I think it was someone talking about Fable and not enjoying it for the same reasons. Or maybe they really liked it, I don't know. But then someone in the comment was like talking about Pagebound. And then now I have like this Substack as well. But yeah, so Pagebound, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's very colourful. So all my things about like wanting colours and like a nice visual, I feel like that it really gives me, in a way, like I get a lot of enjoyment just like looking at the app and seeing the different colours and the way the books are like displayed. Yeah. So Pagebound, you have like your homepage where you can you can log your progress, you can log your reading, track your reading. You can even have a plan for the books that you want to read, which I feel like would be good if you're in a book club and like you've planned it out. But then you can, when you log a book, you can add it to like different lists. So you have let me get here. So you have reading status shelves. So there's reading, which is purple. I like it. TBR, blue, interested, yellow, finished, orange, DNF, pink, like bright pink, and pause is like a muted pink colour. But you can also make custom shelves. So I've made one for audiobooks, because when I first joined, you couldn't track, or maybe I just didn't do it because I don't track what I read. I didn't realise you could do like if you read it physically, or there was like a little headphone shape for listening to it. So I made a custom shelf for my audiobooks. I'm trying to make like an Australian list, but I kind of want it to be books I read, but I might just expand it to be not just books I've personally read. Did have a book club with my friends, so had one for the book club reads just to delineate that, and then I also have one for library books. So I read a lot from the library. Stuffed up. That one's not from the library. That one was Spotify. Anyway, so yeah, I really enjoyed that you can make custom shelves, and then also when I look at my custom shelves, you can like separate them by status, and like it'll break it down, which I think is just fun. And like, but like if I scroll down my list, like all the books are colored by the status that you've read them, and yeah, I don't know, it's visually really appealing to me. Yeah, so I've started using Pagebound. What does Pagebound have? So Pagebound has just like the normal, like it's very kind of similar to Fable. Like it has the tracking part. Doesn't have the book club, but has this whole discussion part, and you can like look at books and stuff like that. But what Pagebound was kind of advertised as was almost like a Reddit specifically for books. So you can kind of think of Reddit if you go on, like each book's page is almost like their own subreddit. So if you click on, I'm currently reading the name game, well, don't know the name, The Name Game by Beth O'Leary. And so if I click on the book, there's like an about page as a general like rating, enjoyment, quality, characters, plot. It's also 3 emojis related to the book, which I really love. Really enjoy. And then you can see like a summary, and if you scroll down, there's like community recommendations and any lists the book is in. But then there's also forums, so people will post like when they're percentage of the way through, just to see, just to like, what's it called? Like just to see like different comments that they made. So it's kind of like Fable in terms of like if you're in a book club, and like at chapter 1, like people would put their comments like this is like the same thing but percentage wise, so how far they are through the book. Obviously, as someone who doesn't track the books, I don't really add to this much, but I really enjoy after I finish the book going through and like reading what people have to say at different points and seeing if I agree. And then there's also reviews, of like all ratings, likes, and just like a feed as well of like who's reading it, have they finished it, did they DNF, and then that part is good because then you can click on their profile and say like if you've like seen there's someone here called Reading Giraffe, if I've seen them on like 3 different books, I might be like, oh well, we read the same book, so I could follow them. But the main part that I really like about Pagebound is the discover part, because like I said, what I wanted was a place and a app that would like help me discover new books. So I wasn't just walking around my library picking up any random book, even though I love doing that. So there's like the discover page, and again, emojis. So they'll have like a featured emoji. So you can, like, today's is mountain. I don't know. I won't screen record on this day, so it'll probably be a different, like a different emoji. But then if you scroll down, there's got the ones that like most discussed yesterday. So like today's is red, white, royal blue, and like Project Hail Mary. Like you can see it that one's more like tuned into like what like pop culture things are going on as well. So like a lot of off-campus books have been in there currently because that series is coming out. And like most finished yesterday, so there's like Fourth Wing, The Deal, Murderbot, which I do want to read at some point. Again, Project Hail Mary, and then like most TBR yesterday. So it's like good to like kind of see like what people are reading. And you can discover people. It's like people who, you might have in common with. And so there's like a little percentage of like what's your overlap in terms of book. I think it's good to like have ones that I don't follow too many people, so it doesn't really know what to recommend me, but like it's fun to like see who, like if you're reading the same books. And then there's quests. So quests is where you can get badges. Some are limited time. That's my one thing. They're limited time, but the seasons, obviously I have the opposite seasons because they're American. Anyway, but yeah, there'll be like popular quests and you can get badges on how many of the books you've read. So a lot of time it'll be like 5 or 10, depending on the size of the quest. Some of them are like completionist, which I feel like it's just fun. Like it just means that like, hey, like if you like this one, you might like this. And it can be like a random thing. And then lists is the last one. So the lists, they kind of want it to be like as random as you can be. So I did one that is 90-minute movies. So a book where they're mainly bingeable books, but they're also books where it's like if this was made into a movie, it would be less than 90 minutes. So it's not just romance books. It's like you can kind of think of, when I describe a 90-minute movie, it's like I don't know if it's a thing overseas, but in Australia growing up, we used to have a lunchtime movie that was the 90-minute movies. They would range from like some weird, like bad romance, like Harlequin. Not Harlequin. Yeah, Harlequin romance movies. Or like Netflix romance movies, to like some weird horror that would just have the most wild twists of like, oh, you think like your stepfather's cheating and then he's just like trying to get with the kid, and like a weird so they're kind of books that remind me of that. So I just constantly add to it. I feel like it's just fun to like, it's also fun like while I like after I've read it to like kind of think of like how would this look if it was adapted, and like a lot of them are like books that you would read in like a day because that like you know what's going to happen, or if you don't, it's like some twist that's almost outlandish. So lists, I enjoy it. I enjoy the lists because they can be random. They can be anything you want, but then they can also like make sense. Like there's like one I follow is One and Done Fantasy because I wanted to, like, that's something I want to read more. Like I like series. I do love a series, but I like also knowing if things are finished. And I feel like I got caught out a couple of times last year where I'd start reading a book and then get like 3/4 of the way through and be like, wait, is this series finished? I think the Emily Wilde books were kind of the epitome of that. I thought that was going to be one book. The second one made sense. Haven't read the third one. That one I really thought would just be a standalone book. So it was like nice to like actually like have books that people have read and know it's like just a one and done. So the next part of this video was it's still about Pagebound, but me talking about different features that I would add to. Actually, I'm gonna make that second part. What do you second part? Oh, I just want water.